Happy Monday. It's past 11:11, but sometimes you gotta do the best you can from where you am. That's where I'm at today. Enjoying a slow, late start to my Monday and keeping my agreement with myself to do a little stretching and strengthening. As off-kilter as I feel, that's all right. I'm still just going to show up, stay in the room, do the thing and stuff. And as usual, I invite you to join me to whatever degree feels good in your body, if it does. Let's do some deep breathing, some letting go of stress, some stretching the body, and some strengthening the body. The muscles need a little stretching, a little strengthening. I was just reviewing pictures from the last couple years, which tends to remind me how much younger I'm not getting. Am I getting younger? I don't know. I suspect not. I'm going to take a couple breaths and just bring my attention into the bottoms of my feet. Root myself into the earth. Shake out some tension in the shoulders and hang the spine from the sky. I'm going to keep these knees unlocked and bend from the hips with a flat back. Coming down past the waist. And just hang here for a breath or so. Checking in with the spine. I'm going to roll back up, stacking one vertebra on the next. Got some good morning congestion going on today. Let's do a little twisting, see if we can knock some of that loose. I like to just let the arms hang loose. Spin them around the spine, and I'm shifting my weight from one side to the next, shifting to the side I'm spinning to. For contrast, I'm going to plant my feet under the hips, about hip width apart, and slide them, trying to stay parallel to the floor plane and trying to keep weight on both feet, which really shifts the stretch up into the torso and low back from the hip. And then I'm going to step out into a straddle position a little bit wider and dip each side, shifting that stretch into the inside of the thigh for me. Just go back and forth a few times on each side. Right again, and one left, and then right, and then back to center, and I'm going to walk these feet back together to about hip width and slide side to side. Thank you for the love. I do appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying this Monday or whatever day you are into. Sliding back and forth, and then I'm going to shift weight onto the left, pushing into this left hip. Careful not to pop that hip out of socket. And again, just kind of stepping side to side. It's a little bit in between the hip dip and the hip slide is the side to side hip push, we'll call it. I'm just making, it's all made up, you know, in case nobody told you lately. Let's do some big arm circles for good measure. Breathing in on the way up. And exhaling on the way down. Get the knees involved. Just filling the lungs, expanding, and then pushing all that stress, pushing all that air back out of the body. Back to the universe to be recycled. Shake that out in the shoulders. Let's do some shoulder rolls forward. Breathing in on the way up again. Tightening and then just letting Lots of inflammation and puffiness going on today, so it feels good to just shake it out, let it go, shake it off. Make room for new puffinesses and stresses. Let's go the other way. Or flow, even better. Even better than puffiness and stagnation is flow and suppleness. Shake that off. Let's do some little circles with the hands on the wrists for good measure. Just stretching out the fingers, bones in the wrists, checking in with the arms. Let's do another roll down, this time nice and slow. Checking in with the spine some more. Just noticing where it's sticky, where it's supple, where it's puffy and sore and tender, and where it's good. Tends to vary every day on me. Just hanging here from the hips. And then I'm going to actually pull back from the waist, pulling up in the pelvic floor, back in the abdomen, folding left elbow over right, and giving myself a nice hug. Pulling the shoulder blades apart, rounding through the waist, and then releasing all that again toward the floor, relaxing the belly, relaxing the back, and then pulling up again from the waist, this time right elbow over left, up in the pelvic floor, back in the waist, rounding the spine, really pulling these shoulder blades apart, giving them a nice squeeze. And then again, releasing all that toward the floor. I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back, pushing the hips forward and coming into a nice counter stretch. And back to central or neutral. Shake that out. It's a good reminder today that that the waves, the ebbs and flows of life make it so that some days are more satisfying than others. I'm going to step back with this left foot. Some are more challenging than others, but I think all we can do, the best we can do, is show up, bring our best selves to the table, do the best we can with what we have from where we am. That doesn't rhyme, does it? It does. Doesn't make sense, but it rhymes. It makes sense, you know what I'm saying. Pulling this back hip forward, forward hip back, tipping the tailbone under, looking for a nice straight line through this lunge, out the heel, up through the pelvis, through the spine and abdomen, working together. Bringing the arms up, making sure not to crunch in those shoulders. And I'm going to shift that back heel forward, opening the hips. Looking for the side plane here. And then sliding that back foot out, bending from the hip, coming into a nice side triangle or aeroplane pose. Gazing up past those left arms, fingers. It's just the one left arm actually, with the fingers on it. Bringing this down onto the diagonal, pushing out that heel, through the spine, out the fingertips. And then shifting onto the toe of that back foot, coming into a nice deep lunge. Bringing weight onto the hands and bringing that front foot back to meet the back foot, pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing into those heels. Bend the right knee, pressing into the left. Bend the left knee, pressing into the right. And again, pressing into the left. And pressing into the right. And pressing back into both heels. And then I'm going to swing the body forward, bringing the chest up and forward through the shoulders. Bringing those legs together. Letting the belly just drop and relax. Lifting the chest and the eyes. protecting the low back by really squeezing the butt cheeks, the legs together. And then just really trying to relax through the belly. Add a little tongue stretch there. Mine's all puffy today. I'm going to lift these hips, pushing back through the palms, through the arms, through the spine, into the heels, pressing the heart toward the center of the earth. And then swinging this left foot forward in between the hands into a nice deep lunge. Remembering to breathe and smile, whatever else you're doing. It's usually a good idea. I'm going to step forward with this back foot, coming again into a forward fold, hanging here. Just trying to relax through the back, through the belly. Let the spine unwind. And then I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back. Coming again into a counter stretch, pushing the hips forward, lifting the eyes. Enjoying a little back bend, coming to neutral. Let's increase that a little bit. Pulling palms together, rolling the shoulder blades together and back. Pulling elbows towards each other and then pulling down on those fingers. Increasing that stretch on the back. Protecting the neck here with the shoulder blades pulled together. And then I'm going to bend forward from the hip, bringing those arms with me, still pulling palms, elbows, and shoulders together. Coming all the way to wherever's comfortable from the hips. And I'm just going to actively stretch using my arms to pull on the chest and the shoulders a little bit. Let's pull them over to the left and pull them over to the right. Just getting a nice stretch through the shoulder blades. Let's let the elbows fall away, keeping a hand clasped. Bringing hands down to check in with the low back. Check in with the butt. Check in with the hamstrings. Backs of knees. Just give the body a little quick hello, a little love. Coming down the calves. Check in with the backs of the ankles. Check in with the fronts of the toes. I'm going to roll up real slow as I check in with the front of the body, ankles, shins, knees. Hello, knees. Hello, thighs. Hello, pelvis, belly and back, torso, all the organs, chest, arms. Do a little smoothing down the arm. Just bringing all the energy into balance, checking in with the whole body. I'm going to do some smoothing on the face and just gather up all the stresses of the mind and just release them back to the universe to be recycled. Do a little stretching of the neck because mine is tense today. And then I'm going to step back with the right foot. Is that the right? It is right. All right, that's the right. Stepping back with that right foot, pulling the back hip forward, forward hip back, tipping the tailbone under a little, looking for a moderate lunge, making sure the front knee doesn't crunch past the front toes, pressing that back heel into the earth, tipping the tailbone under, looking for a nice, long, strong line through the core, pressing the abdomen and the spine together. Bringing the arms up overhead, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. And then I'm going to shift, opening the hips, shifting that back heel forward a little on the perpendicular line. Checking out the side plane here. And then I'm going to slide that back foot out a little bit, bending from the hip, coming into a nice side aeroplane. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. Gazing up past those right fingers, using left arm and leg against each other for torque. And then bringing this hand down onto the diagonal. Really feeling for that nice long line out the heels, through the spine, through the fingertips. And then shifting onto the toes of that back foot, bringing both hands down on the inside of the left foot, and then bringing weight on the hands, bringing that foot back to meet the back foot. Pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone to the back of the head. Pressing into those heels. I'm going to come forward into a plank position, scooching those feet out a little bit, and do one slow push-up, keeping the elbows in close to the body, hands about shoulder width apart and under the shoulders, squeezing the legs together, coming down nice and slow, and holding here at the bottom, and then pushing up, nice and slow, lifting those hips, pushing through the spine, through the palms, into the heels. And then I'm going to swing this right foot forward in between the hands into a nice deep lunge. I like to add bouncing to my deep lunges. Some people do, some people don't. You bounce if you like to bounce, and don't bounce if you don't like bouncing. That's what I say. I'm going to step forward with this back foot. Again, hanging here in forward fold, just releasing the belly, releasing the back. Letting the head go. Add just a little weight to that. Really getting some more unwinding. And then I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back. Coming again into that counter stretch, pushing the hips forward. Bring the eyes up and back. Coming into a neutral position. Shake it all off. Shake it all out. Let's do a little balancing today. I'm going to start adding some variety because I've been doing the same routine for over a year now, a couple years. But for today, I will mindlessly do something similar again. Bringing my weight onto my right. Bringing this left knee up toward left shoulder. Relaxing the shoulders, tipping the tailbone under. Let's do a little ankle rotation for good measure. One way and then the other way. And then reaching for the bottom of this foot, pulling that knee up a little further, really trying to tip the tailbone under, relax the supporting leg. You're getting a nice stretch through the shoulders there, just letting that leg and foot kind of pull on the arms. And then I'm going to use the arms to pull on the foot, straightening that leg at least as much as possible. Forward folding in the air and taking a breath or so to just let that leg relax a little bit, let the belly relax a little bit. Checking in on that supporting foot, relaxing the bottom of the foot, relaxing the leg. Try not to counter lean as I pull this out to the left. Checking in on that hip socket today, which is got a little hitch in that giddy up. It's all right. I love it anyway. Just kind of exploring that hip socket a little bit, somewhat playfully, and then I'm going to bend this leg, set that foot on the supporting leg, pulling this knee out, tipping the tailbone under, nice and long and strong through the abdomen and spine. Bringing the arms up to imagine myself a strong, tall, slowly aging mountain covered in trees. The nice, cool and warm breeze. To the left, bringing this right knee up toward right shoulder, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing that supporting side. Let's do a little ankle rotation checking in with all those little bones in the feet and the ankles. Inviting some of that inflammation and puffiness to just dissipate. Lift this leg up a little higher, getting a nice stretch again through the shoulders. Relaxing that supporting foot, relaxing the shoulders. And then pulling with the arms, getting this leg as straight as possible. Still trying to focus on relaxing the supporting side. Not counter leaning to this side. Nice and long and strong. Through that supporting leg, through the abdomen, through the spine. Let's bring this out to the right side. And just explore that hip socket a little bit. This can be done laying down too. Sometimes a little more playful laying down. You don't have to worry about falling over. Although sometimes it's more playful standing up, because you do have to worry about falling over, or not. Maybe you're exercising in a wrestling room with a matted floor. I used to have that pleasure. It's fun. Let's put this foot on the supporting leg and swinging this knee back, tipping the tailbone under, relaxing that supporting foot. For a nice long and strong line through the core. Bring these arms up, making sure not to crunch in those shoulders. Again, just imagine myself a long-standing mountain covered in long-standing trees with warm and cool breezes playing up and down the edges. Releasing all of that, stomp that out. Almost have some clap snaps back in my puffy hands. They're still puffy and sore. But that's the price I pay for eating cookies, I think. I hope you've been enjoying some good cookies and also taking care of your body, doing whatever you like to do. I am certainly reminded this time of year how relationships are really the most valuable thing that any of us have. Our relationship with ourselves, our own body, our relationships with each other, our family and friends. So I hope you're putting in a little quality time, or quality into your time, getting some quality time with those that you love. Giving yourself a little quality time, a little love, a little playfulness. It's a full moon tomorrow, and we're wrapping up this year. I'm kind of excited about next year, although I think it's been a pretty exciting year this year. Thank you for stopping by. Kenny, Randy, it's good to see you. Don't forget that you are worthy of your own unconditional love. First and foremost, always and always. Hope you're giving yourself that. Hope you're enjoying a lovely Monday. I'll be seeing you. Peace.